All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. Let's make sure we're live and working for a minute because YouTube has decided to behave. YouTube has excellent. All right. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. My name is Ryan. I get stuff from yard sales, garage sales, thrift stores, similar venues, and try to make a few extra bucks online. I live stream occasionally, usually Monday mornings or when I have a reasonable amount of sales to talk about or something that I need to get off my chest, but that's not usual because I try not to complain about things. That being said, it's cold outside. I live in Georgia. It snowed. I'm from South Louisiana. I don't know what to do with this white stuff. Um, so uh, yeah, you can ball it up and throw it at people and make little men out of it, and you can wreck your car in it. I did not wreck my car. I was smart. I stayed home. Uh, so yeah, that's what's going on here. I made it back into work. Didn't go anywhere yesterday. Made it back into work today. Usually, eBay. One of the good things about eBay is they realize weather conditions and they adapt their shipping times, sort of, where they're kind of lenient on whether or not you get stuff out late. So, and that's always helpful because it's cold outside and nobody wants to go out in it. That being said, we've got sales. We've got stuff we've done. And let's get to talking about it. And I know it's a little early, and by the time you watch this, they're like, he streamed at 7:35 and 7:40. I got work I gotta do. I came in early. I got work I gotta do. So let's get on this. All right. First up, decent sales actually over this period too. First up, manga. Assassination Classroom. Uh, these two sold for 12.99 for this pair. This is one of those, like, one of these in this series is really hard to sell. It's like a $6 book, so it's hard to really make money on that. But two for $13, shipping's a practically the same amount. So that's how you make money on lotting up books: is you get them relatively inexpensively, uh, get the same series together, get them. This is number one and number two, sequential order, and you lot them up and put them at that $3 to $5 to $7 range together, and you come out of maybe even a little bit ahead if you sold them individually. Certainly less work. Next up, Left Behind the Kids box set. No, I do endorse this theology, but the books sell. I have sold various lots of Left Behind books. This was a small box set of 1 through 6. If I had found it, I would have thrown. I think I had one or two other books in this series, and I would have thrown them in here, and maybe I could have made 16 or $18. But this batch sold for $14.99. I think I picked this up for like the price of one book, or it was like $1 or something. But even if it was still 50 cents a book, yeah, 50 cents a book still kind of come out okay, because that's $1, $3. Shipping is going to be 5 or 6, 9. So made between $3 and $5 selling that probably. All right, next up, on to kind of the gooder stuff. Okay. Sold some of these about a week ago. This is one of those weird things about eBay sometimes. This is Belle Armoire Jewelry Magazine. This is 4 magazines, sold for $24.99. I think I don't know if I had a dozen of these that I picked up middle of last year, and it looked like they would sell high fashion, expensive magazines with that, like maybe industry specific. That's like drawers or something like that. Tend to do okay, but sometimes you got to sit on them a little while, and that's kind of what happened with these. They didn't sell quick, but eBay algorithm sold some last week, sold some this week. So I don't know if it was the same buyer or not who realized I had more, but that's kind of what happened there. Is eBay algorithm kind of rewards you for stuff sometimes, and it may have bumped me up for selling the ones last week and got those sold this week for $25 for 4 magazines. Selling Ground Advantage, which is because you can't ship them medium mail. Used to you had to do priority. Now you can do Ground Advantage on those things, and which saves you plenty of money. And it actually makes things like magazines and comic books more profitable to sell, particularly in bulk, because you were shoehorned into priority shipping on those things because of advertisements, and you could do media mail. But now with Ground Advantage, it's kind of in between, but it's a lot cheaper than priority mail. It goes about the same speed too. All right, finally, not finally, two things left. First up, this one was a fun find. I didn't realize this one was that expensive. The Valley of Vision. This is a collection of Puritan prayers and devotions by a publisher called Banner of Truth. Pick up everything you see by Banner of Truth and flip it. It will sell. This is leather bound. This went for $28.99. This is in near perfect condition, and if you're a Christian, get this because it's really nice, really helpful with devotions. So, Valley of Vision. I think every Christian should have one. It is useful, made by really smart guys. So in this particular, the leather bound, there's a paperback I actually have that's like a $7 to $10 book. This is a $28.99, and this is actually the second one I found. I found this one at Last Chance Goodwill. Somebody wasn't paying attention to religious books, and I picked that one up and got it flipped. Finally. Oh, hey Kevin, glad to have you along. You're colder than I am, I think. We got about 4 inches of snow here, so it was fun. Final book is System of Experimental Design by Taguchi, volumes 1 and 2 from 1987. $35 for these two books, and like most textbooks and technical stuff, these took a little while to sell, but they sold. It's one of those that you don't need them till you need them. And when you need them, finding them can be kind of difficult sometimes. So pick these up. These are in great shape. I don't even know if they got library stamps in them. Yeah, these are clean, excellent. Oh, I mean, practically new, barely used, and somebody's going to get some use out of them. $35 for this pair. Remember, I've told you before, the more technical, the more advanced a book is in a field, the more valuable it is, the more likely it is to sell. Your 101 and 102 level stuff, that's not the stuff that really moves all that quickly. 41 degrees and raining right now. Some people drove from Panhandle to see some snow. It's in the 20s in Middle Georgia. And there's still snow on the ground. It's out of my yard, but I get a lot of sun, and we played a lot here. But there's still a lot of snow on the ground here. Anyway, technical stuff. The more advanced, say in college it is, the higher value. The fewer times it's published. You don't see like your biology 101s, like they come out with a new textbook every year. But like your more advanced stuff, they don't because they don't need to. So that is why you look up very technical manuals and that sort of thing. and we'll go from there. So anyway, that is all the books I've sold, and it's cold outside, and I'm going to stay inside and do my job because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to get this stuff packed up and set out, and hope my mail person comes. I have a mail person who is nice enough to come and pick stuff up right outside the office, so I don't necessarily have to go to my post office. But my post office really isn't that far out of the way, except where it is right now. There's a few icy patches to get to it, I think. So anyway, hey Troy, glad you're catching me live today as well. You just got the tail end of it, but that's fine too. Thank you for jumping on. I'm going to sip some coffee. And since we got a few people on, I'm going to say, does anybody have any questions before we log off? Questions, comments, snide remarks are also welcome because content is content and engagement is engagement. And the internet, as awful as it is, rewards engagement. Seeing none, I will catch everybody later. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh, do I sell hymnals that are church specific? Oh, hey, Woofy. Church specific. Denomination specific, yes. One's the names on the front. Sometimes okay. Yes, I do, but they're worth less. I'll still grab a Baptist hymnal, even if it has a church name on the front. But those tend to be now older. It doesn't matter as much. But more modern stuff, it kind of does. But I would say they're worth up to 25% less if they're a hymnal that still kind of has some demand to it, like a Baptist hymnal, or like the hymnal for celebration. And that's my this one. We want to stop doing this. If you can still get it for under $2, get it. Particularly if it's clean. The name doesn't matter. The name on the front matters a little bit, but if there's no highlights or marking, then that really kind of makes it fun. Like I said, the older it gets. But if you're looking at it for $5, you're good. But if it was a $1 or $2 book, you probably should have picked it up and taken a chance on. Okay, Woofy Barker. Yes. Who do I also watch? I watch the small town bookseller who is out of Houston, Texas, who is a really nice guy out there. That's where I bought this hat from. And he's a real good dude. I'm gonna type that in. I also watch Shane a little bit over at Hourly Flipper. I may check him out too. Shane over at Soda City Flippers. Shane's pretty cool. And there's a handful of the guys that Shane's kind of associated with. That's all right. Who's that ex-teacher dude that I watch sometimes? Oh gosh, there's one of the big ones I watch occasionally. Oh gosh, what's his? I can't even. I blanked on it. Okay, fine. I'll open up my. There's a couple of guys that. All right, let's go through here. Bookseller. Soda City Flips. Gosh, come on. Commonwealth Flipper. Yes. Common Flipper's really he's pretty good. Every now and then when he's good at keeping up with current events in kind of the resale world with news and that sort of stuff. Um, he looks like he's a decent dude too. Uh, I don't do it there, and maybe there's a couple of other guys that I watch occasionally. I'm busy, and so I don't spend a whole probably as much time as I need to watching some of these guys. Uh, but that Commonwealth and Soda City and the kind of the guys associated in that circle are pretty good to watch. So if you're going to watch one of them, there's three or four. There's a handful of those guys, and there's one dude out of Austin who he's a little irritating sometimes, but sometimes he really finds some good stuff, and he does something that I want to do occasionally. Where you go? Bonafide hustler. Uh, yeah, if we watch flipping, those of us who flip. Bonafide hustler, who's out of Austin. Uh, he does something that I think a lot of guys should do if they have the access. He actually has an antiques booth store. It's something I want to do, but I don't quite have the time to do it, and they're also really full up, and it's a little too out of the way. Uh, and so I think if you flip, particularly if you're looking at going full time, you need to consider doing an antique booth because I think it adds a substantial amount of revenue, and you can sell things. You can sell dollar items like the low sub $5 items that aren't worth shipping, but they're still people still buy them for less than $5. You can sell the heavy items. You can do the real profit there is in furniture, and you can also is furniture and more expensive stuff is like the best thing to move there. And then you can sell some of that stuff that is worth what it costs to ship it. Those goofy $10 to $20 items that that they're going to move a little bit, but you need a place to sell them. And eBay's not the place because you don't make any money. So certain China and that sort of China and glassware and that sort of thing that has a little bit of a market. It's slow. It moves slow, but that stuff in that way. I have a bunch of books that I think I would have been able to sell in the $1 to $3 range, but since I don't do a booth, they don't move all that well. And that's what Bonafide Hustler does is he has a booth where he can put some stuff into and move that way. So and have another avenue. I think if you're flipping and you can find a second or third avenue to sell stuff sometimes, I think you should and not just rely on eBay. I do Facebook Marketplace locally, and I actually sell locally, and I also sell a lot of stuff uh, in niche groups, mostly books, but occasionally a handful of other stuff. But I sell a lot of stuff in niche groups. The various there's some homeschool uh, curriculum groups I sell in occasionally, and there's a bunch of book groups that I sell in, and those are useful to. So I got a pile of children's books I didn't pull out. That was going. I sold 18, like four or five books for $18 to a lady off Facebook that I got a pack and ship today too. So anyway, thanks for the questions. Thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you next time. Y'all go sell some things, and y'all be good. Okay, bye. Oh, like, comment, subscribe, or not.